All right, guys and gals, this is going to probably tick off everyone, but I'm going to just tell you guys the truth about everything because the way to fix culture is going to be by being completely honest with everything at every juncture in time. So here's the deal. I am going to pick up some meat at the grocery store. Now, just you guys out there, I usually don't do the shopping ever at all. But hey, I'm like, all right, I need some coffee and I need some meat. And my wife is, whatever, running, going to her sister's house or something with the kids. Anyway, point of the story is this. I'm at the grocery store and they got all my stuff. I get in the line and there is an older couple. Now, by older, I mean probably like, I don't know, 68 to 70. And they're there together. It's a husband and a wife. And something happened at the register, and the wife accused the checkout gal, who was probably around like 55 ish. She accused her of throwing a box of cereal. Now everybody complained. They see that the box of cereal is never thrown. So she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. This lady decided to hone in on it. Like, be more careful. Just at the same time, she's also giving her husband a hard time. At the same time, she's continuing to mutter under her breath about the cash register girl. So I was like, all right, man, I'll be charitable and whatever. Maybe she's having a bad day. So anyway, they get done with all of their stuff and go off. Now, I give eyeballs to the checkout lady of that extremely weird encounter with a woman who seems the, well, angry at life and very pickly. Trying to use nice language here. And we make eyeballs, and then she rings me up. She goes, "Are you married?" I say, "Yeah, I'm married." So she goes, "Oh," she's like, "That poor man, that poor husband." And I look at her. We're going somewhere with this. Don't worry. I look at her. She says, "That poor husband, like that poor man." I look at her and I go, "It's his fault." And she looks back at me with, of course, a completely dumbfounded blank stare. And I'm not going to go explain to her like what's going on as we're having this interaction on the checkout line. But that brings me to what we're going to talk about very briefly today, which is there is this weird mindset that if women just correct themselves, everything will be better. If women can just stay in a marriage, everything will be better. If women can just stop being feminist on their own accord, like everything will be better. If women can just stop berating men, everything will be better. If women could just do this like all on their own, like through their own power, then they'll help men out greatly and everything will go back to normal in culture. Holy smokes. Do you guys hear how backwards that sounds? How even that mindset of like, well, if women just acted better, if women just did this, if women just did that, if women corrected themselves, if women could fix their own problems, everything would be better. That's feminist, right? That whole mindset is feminist. The problem that we are seeing today is not going to be corrected by women, but it is going to be corrected by men. So, this disagree with me or not, I don't care. You guys can all get upset, and if any women want to make a comment, enjoy yourselves. But here's the thing, and this has been true throughout history, and it's not going to change probably ever because our natures are not going to change. I read a lot of old books, and the nature of women and the nature of men are always the same. Doesn't matter if it's reading Homer and the Iliad and the Odyssey, or Virgil and the Aeneid, or the Green Knight, or any modern situations, the nature of relations and the actual nature between women and men are always the same. Men are always going to set the standard of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So saying that women, if women just behave themselves, that everything would be fixed in society and guys would be able to be guys again, is feminist and not true. The reason why we are in a predicament that we are is because for several generations, guys have shrugged off their responsibility for pleasure, for peace, for agreement, for intimacy, for they've shunned away from everything hard, which when a man has an aversion to everything hard and is attached to the pleasure, that is the exact true definition of what effeminacy is. So it's an effeminate man. So if you want society to get better, marriage to get better, families to stay together, everything not to break up, it's not like it doesn't happen at the top and go down. It's a groundswell, right? It starts with you, dude, taking responsibility, you man, taking responsibility of your wife and your children and leading your household. Then all of a sudden you start hanging out with other dudes that are leading their households and taking charge. That happens real quick, real quick. And it'll only take probably a generation or two to correct this whole problem. But it doesn't start. And the other thing too, guys, is remember pointing the finger at women. If women just could do this, if women could do that, if women were more modest, if women were this, who's setting the modesty rates? Who's setting all these things? It's you, dudes. It's all the guys out there. So what the strong men need to do is to take charge of their tiny little families, take charge of their tiny little realms, and begin the process of just telling the truth to other dudes that are in around your realm, your kind of social circle. Shame them. You could shame other dudes. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned shaming somebody for piss poor behavior? That's what guys are supposed to do. As men, we're supposed to govern each other. You're supposed to govern other men. Like that's setting the standard, right? We could talk about what a standard is. In the Roman legions, the standard, and I forgot how many men it was, but within a group, they each had their own standard, and you should be very proud of your standard. But anyway, men set that standard amongst other men. And you'll see very quickly, all of a sudden, your grouping of friends will start changing. You'll see your male friends start to change. You might trade out a couple friendships because, what do they say? Iron sharpens iron, something along those lines. Like you need somebody as strong or as disciplined as you, if not better, every single step of the way to govern your realm. So at the end of the day, back to the supermarket story, it is that dude's fault. That guy removed boundaries, let his wife walk all over him, step by step by step by step over the years. And it probably started very smallly. I've seen this with tons of dudes in tons of marriages of where the wife just berates him, like in front of everybody. And what does that do? Sets a great example for me. Sets a great example for my wife. Then I have to go home and correct that. Sets a great example for the kids, right? Something you got to correct. What about their kids? What kind of example does that set for their young boys and girls to watch their mom literally dominate their father and him have no backbone to stand up? It sets a poor example, and they'll grow up and continue the cycle. So again, guys, it's not easy. It starts with you taking governance of yourself, taking governance of your home, having a spine, having rules, having boundaries, and not pointing the finger as a victimhood mentality. Starts with you. No top down policy is going to fix it. Women aren't going to correct themselves. It starts with you. So if you like this, share, subscribe, out.